Hi, my name is Sam, and I am part of Nimble Fish, an award-winning arts company, and I am a theatre practitioner and a producer.
Hi, I'm Greg, also with Nimble Fish, and I am a writer and also producer.
We're working with a new direction to bring you creative well-being at home, which uses different art forms to explore how we cope and how we can balance and grow as professionals and people at this particular time.
So all of the activities in the Creative Wellbeing at Home series have been used by us many times with teachers, with creative professionals, and with children and young people in lots of settings.
All of the activities that we share through this series work best if you have a quiet place to work from, as free from distraction as possible. We know that isn't always the case, so you can do it wherever you get time and space just for you.
So we would really encourage you to take and use any of the activities in this series, edit them, adapt them, make them your own, and use them whenever you need a chance, whenever you need to refresh your sense of well-being, creativity, or your sense of purpose.
Okay, so let's get started. This exercise is called Mapping Me. And it is a response to the fact that we've all been confined and spent a lot of time in our homes, perhaps more time than we've ever spent before. And it's a creative and playful way of reflecting on how we are spending our time and how we might be able to be more mindful about how we're using it. So it's an exercise that helps us become more conscious about how we might want to construct our days. To do the exercise, you will need a pen and paper and some crayons. And I'm going to ask you to draw a floor plan of your house or flat or room from a bird's eye perspective. And it can be as much detail or as simple as you like. So I'm going to show you an example of, let me just share my screen, one I did to give you an idea. Here we go. So it's of my bedroom, kitchen space, bathroom, living, a little bit of outside area. And it can be super detailed, so you could put in all the furniture if you wanted or not. It's totally up to you. So you don't need to be an artist or super great at drawing to do this. It doesn't have to be perfect either. It can be an interpretation of your space too. So probably give yourselves about 5 minutes to do this. And we will see you back here in a moment.
Great. So hopefully you've done your floor plan, as Sam said, in as much detail or as little detail as you'd like. And what we'd invite you to do now is take a kind of mental and emotional walk through your house, through that floor plan. And as you're doing that, think in each of those spaces about activities that really nurture you. So it could be in your outside space, watering your garden. It could be in your bedroom, doing yoga. It could be in your kitchen, having a nice meal. So all of the things, big, small, don't leave anything out, in the spaces on your map that really nurture you through the day. And I think Sam has an example of her map that she'll show you.
So this is mine, some of the things. So in my bedroom, didn't cross my mind until I started doing the map actually. Yeah, getting 8 hours of sleep is a really big one for me in terms of well-being, emotionally, psychologically, doing yoga, reading. Our house is really noisy. I have a toddler, and so just having a quiet bath and reading for 20 minutes when she's in bed is a little bit of a lifesaver, very nurturing. Building dens, that's in my living room. Going outside has been a lifesaver once a day. I was a bit playful. Dancing in my kitchen to the radio has been a good endorphin releasing activity. Family time at breakfast, and so on. So it can be, as playful as you like, as detailed as you like, but as Greg said, try and work through the emotionally through each space, and we'll see you back here in about 5 minutes.
Welcome back. So now hopefully you have a map with all of the things that nurture you in your home and all the different spaces. We'd like you to take another walk through your home, through all the different rooms you've drawn, and think about all of the things that deplete you. So the things that just take energy out of you every day. And again, they could be big things, they could be very, very little things, but think as you're going through the spaces of what happens to you in those spaces. So Sam has an example of this that she can show you.
Here we go. So I've added to my floor plan things that deplete me. So so my kitchen table in the middle, working without taking breaks. That's been a feature of my lockdown. I've put, yes, to my living room, my TV. So watching the next episode. So instead of going to bed, binge watching Grey's Anatomy, she confesses. And then I've also thought about outside, like restrictions on where I go. So that's a little space outside. So not being able to go to any galleries or to get inspiration that way. So one thing that's been depleting in my house, it's not, and it's everywhere, is noise. It's very hard to find some quiet time. So I just put a little bubble with noise. I've also added myself into the kitchen. So feeling isolated, not being able to see friends or family. I think that's it for now. So if you can then do a similar activity with your map and adding what depletes you, and again, be as creative, playful as you like, and we will see you back here in about 5 minutes.
So welcome back. So now you have a very full map. You've got all of the things that nurture you in the various bits of your home, and all of the things that deplete you. And what we'd like to do now is to take a separate sheet of paper and have a look through all of the things that deplete you, and look at those things and think about how you can flip them, how you can translate them into something concrete that you could do, something simple but meaningful, to turn something that depletes you into something that nurtures you. So Sam has another example here.
Okay. So one of the depleting things is working at my desk and not taking a break, just trying to get my head down and get through as much as I possibly can each day. That's not great. And so I've said, rather than saying have more breaks, I've tried to be really specific. So that is the invitation, is to try and give yourself specific, realistic, measurable tasks so that you can succeed, so that you know when you're being successful. So I've said, instead of take more breaks, I put take at least 3 20-minute breaks a day and have a full lunch hour each day. I know that going outside is really important for me, so going outside for at least 20 minutes a day. Originally I was thinking, oh well, maybe I'll go outside for at least an hour and a half, but actually I don't know if that's realistic at this time. So I know I can do 20 minutes. 20 minutes is definitely achievable for me. I'd love to do some physical activity for an hour each day, but again, I don't know if that's possible for me right now. So I've started small to focus on the success and achievability. So put yoga for 15 minutes 3 times a week, and I think I can achieve that. So I think on your list, if you can create suggestions or invitations to yourself that are realistic and achievable and specific, that would be really useful. And probably give yourselves at least 5 minutes to try this exercise, and we will see you back in about another 5 minutes. Welcome back. So now you should have your list of nurturing, achievable activities that you can do. But rather than having the tyranny of a really long list of all the things that you must do now, yoga 3 times a week, go outside every day, contact my friends, just pick one. just pick one thing from that list that you feel that you might be able to achieve this week. And whilst I'd love to be doing all of those things on the list, and I could, I'm going to set myself up for success, and I'm going to pick reaching out to friends or loved ones at least once a day via text, WhatsApp, or call. So I've been really clear about how I'm going to do that. And I feel that, yeah, I can do, that's achievable for me. And the purpose of this list is not to create a load of things that you're going to feel bad about because you haven't done. Is actually to have a little resource so that the next time that you're feeling a little bit off balance or a bit overwhelmed or stressed or uncertain about making decisions or what to do next, you have a reference of things that you could try that are achievable and realistic at your fingertips. And it's something to check in with and to have and to refer back to as a series of activities or tools that you can do that you know will have a positive impact for you. There's also another way that you could use this activity. You could try doing it with other members of your household. And it would be a way to start having different conversations and a way of revealing different needs or ideas or suggestions from the house around how everybody living together, what they might need to also maintain their balance, but also to live harmoniously together as a community, as a family.
So we've used this, we've adapted this mapping activity specifically for this context in this series, but we've used mapping a lot. So we've used it in schools with teachers and young people to map their schools in terms of where they feel the creative places are, the less creative places, the scary places, the interesting places. It's a great way to kind of have a different perspective on that. We've used it as producers of site responsive work to map out different places where there's different kind of creative and potential performative and interesting energy. So we would encourage you to apply this and use this however it works for you.
So good luck with your activity for this week, with whatever you've chosen. And we hope you've enjoyed this Creative Wellbeing at Home activity, and it's given you something useful and meaningful to support your well-being and creativity at this time. Thank you for joining us for this session, and we wish you health, happiness, and many creative journeys ahead.
Take care.